Lampard out now. Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. Newcastle have beaten Everton 3-1 in an absolutely massive game. That's why I'm reacting to it. It was the first time we were going to see quite a few of the new signings. We didn't see all of them for Newcastle, but for Everton we did see a good few of them. What a game it was. Scrappy at times, but high energy. I thought the Newcastle crowd were absolutely fantastic, and this is the time, this is the part of the season I love, guys. And if you want to come for the ride, I'm going to be doing a lot of reaction videos, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you don't know, I'm trying to get myself to 200k as soon as possible. We've had a little dip on subscribers the last sort of week or so after having an amazing month last month. So if you are new to the channel, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell as well, so you don't miss any of these lives. So much to talk about. Newcastle 3, Everton 1. Newcastle, is something happening here? We will be discussing that. Everton, injured and confused. More a statement than a question. How did the new signings get on? I've got quite a strong feeling on that one, actually, because listening to the commentary, I thought they went way overboard on one player in particular, so stick around for that. Alan St. Maximin, too hot to handle. This guy. What a player. I mean, we'll get into that. And should Everton fans be afraid? I'm going to sort of try and be careful with this because there's an element of hyperbole in this. And what will happen, and Everton fans in particular, on Twitter, people are going to lose their mind. And I don't think it's worthy of that. And I'll explain that in just a second. But in order then, let's go through it. Newcastle, something happening here. Those are the games, guys. Newcastle fans, you're probably you're so excited right now for good reason, and I think it's justified. There are games where you go, I can hear the crowd here, you can feel the energy of it, and it happens in February, it happens in March, and when you're trying to stay up, it's those kind of games at home against a team that's sort of up there with you and you're sort of battling with them. Let's show you the table. Of course, the Burnley Man United game is going on right now. If you're watching with me, by the way, if you could hit the like button as well, that would be huge for me. Let's have a look. Where did I put it? Here, I think. Because at the moment, that takes... Well, it drags Everton massively into it. Massively into it. And I did a video on this 2 weeks ago before Lampard came in, and I said they are not too good to go down. And I think I've got to be honest, I was right with that one. Let's have a look at the lineups then, and before we get into the statistics, because in terms of something happening here for Newcastle, there are a lot of good things that they can be excited about. I think they played a team that got undone by some of the injuries that they got during the game with Everton. But that said, is it 4 games now undefeated? And what I liked in particular was off the ball. The energy was really strong. Really strong. Obviously, start with that back 4. Own goal for both teams in the first half, but the quality was it was coming from Newcastle more so. No, not even quality a lot of the time. It was just more. It was energy. This Newcastle side has been playing in its own half for the entirety of the season. If we go to the average positions, this is structured. This shows that there's a tempo. It shows that they're coached. It shows that they're trying to play on the front foot. Because we'll go to the stats in a sec, but Everton had more possession, I think. And what this says to me is that despite them having possession, they weren't able to move up the pitch because of the press of Newcastle. I thought they worked tirelessly. Absolutely tirelessly. And in particular, a couple of players just massively stood out for me. I'm pretty sure this is 10 St. Maximin, isn't it? Yeah, it would make sense. What's so great is that they kind of play... They stretch the pitch, but also they kind of... Chris Wood, who is struggling a little bit, let's be honest. He is struggling in that position. But him playing in that position as that target man, with Joe Linton alongside him when they want to work along this way vertically, is so crucial to them, because the way they play the game is that they look to get Trippier on the ball as much as possible. And the reason they want Trippier on the ball is because it actually stretches the pitch. Once you've got Chris Wood there and Trippier on that right-hand side and he can be comfortable with the ball, Ryan Fraser will harry and work. Joe Willock will do the exact same. But deep down, you want to get Alan St. Maximin the ball here. And by having someone like Trippier on that right-hand side, you see it a lot of the time with, say, Liverpool, for example. The ball will be down that left-hand side. But the aim is to get it over to the other side at some point. And that's what Newcastle have got here. They've got a team that makes sense. And I think that was the biggest thing when it came to it. In this game, you had an Everton side that was so disjointed, so confused in what they were doing. But with Eddie Howe and what he's setting up here, it was high tempo. It did have some cut and thrust to it at times as well. And Matt Targett, you got a solid defender there with these three. But the main focus was Trippier. I thought John Joe Shelvey sort of dug a hole there, sit in front of those two centre-backs, and generally did okay. I like him in that position. I know a lot of people don't. But if you've got the structure around it, it just makes the team play better. And importantly, when I'm talking about Chris Wood, what he does is he means that the two centre-backs, or three centre-backs at times for Everton, they're going to have to stay with him. And then Joe Linton as well. That's another player that is going to concern the Everton players. So it gives Allan Maximin that opportunity to be one-on-one. And when he's one-on-one, this lad is electric. He's absolutely electric. So something is happening here. I've got to be honest. It's a very, very crucial time for Newcastle with the games that they've got coming up. And they needed this victory. They needed it so, so badly. And they got it. They got it. Let's go back to the situation with Everton. We'll come back to Newcastle, don't worry about it, but I want to work my way through all of this. Everton, injured and confused. I think the biggest problem here for me is the midfield two and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You've bought Dele Alli and you've bought Donny van der Beek to be that third defender. And the way that game played out was an absolute disaster for them in terms of the injuries that took place. And more importantly, not having Dominic Calvert-Lewin on that pitch was just a huge disaster. There's going to be games like this, where for Newcastle, if they can't beat that Everton team, and I don't want to take credit away from them because they deserved the victory, but it all came together. We've all been at those football games when these things happen, and it did all come together for them. But for Everton, the injuries were huge, really, to be honest. For Yerry Mina to come off was a massive, massive loss for them because they were playing the sort of this elbow back four with Holgate on the left, Keane, Yerry Mina, and Seamus Coleman. You got your two in midfield who just got completely overrun. And again, that press from Newcastle, I showed you the average positions, that press from Newcastle. Andre Gomez, I don't know what he's for, because if you've not got the ability to dribble and get yourself out of trouble, then you better be box to box and have that energy. And he hasn't got that, and he's not press proof, and it's a problem. It's a real problem. But I guess the idea deep down is to play differently. They kind of played Damari Gray and Anthony Gordon, which for a moment that narrow front three kind of worked, because the opposite of Newcastle was the idea that by having them narrow, let me just see if I can show you, it would almost allow Richarlison to still be that kind of advanced forward. Let me get rid of that. By having these two players here, you're able to play it into their feet in the half spaces, and then maybe they could turn it around the corner. And they had a few moments where they were able to do that. You've also got an out ball to Andros Townsend. But when they lose those players, especially Damari Gray, and you haven't got that target man, like I'm talking about with Chris Wood for Newcastle, when you haven't got that target man, it makes it really, really tricky for them. And with the substitutions that came on, this turned into a bit of a mess. Branthwaite on that left-hand side struggled. The midfield two couldn't get the ball through the lines. And then you've got Dele Alli and Van der Beek trying to get involved. It was just so disjointed. And I think the calm take here on this, for an Everton fans, you're in a relegation battle. That is a fact, right? That's a calm take. But also, this game doesn't define how you can play moving forward. That's what I would say. I would say keep calm. I wouldn't say go over the top with this one, because there's a lot of elements in play here that have hurt you, and those injuries are a big part of it. And not having Dominic Calvert-Lewin for this game is a massive, massive loss. What my concern would be is that your survival, in my opinion, it relies on Dominic Calvert-Lewin being fit, staying fit, because Andros Townsend, Dele Alli, Donny van der Beek, these are all players that want someone to pass to. And Richarlison was crap today. I thought he was rubbish. I didn't feel like the energy was there from him really either, or that desire to be that sort of braver target man. I think he got confused with the initial element of the game where, okay, you're the advanced forward, but once Demarai Gray comes off, there needs to be some kind of message to him for him to be that target man that little bit more. What else do we got on here? What else have we got? Let's have a look. So let me know what you think in the chat. We've got our super chats coming in. I'm fascinated to talk about this game. So, this can be a longish one, let's say. How did the new signings get on? So, you got Target, solid. You know what you're going to get from him. I thought Kieran Trippier continues to grow as a player for them, massively so. In terms of key passes, Trippier, superb. 4 key passes in this game. As I said, 15 long passes. I mean, only those 6 were accurate, but 75 touches, more so than any other player. The next best was Matt Target, so they kind of worked around that side, which made it quite easy for them. They didn't even have to go through, but they were playing quite quickly in the way that they're playing. Let me show you the stats just quickly. Because I think it's interesting. For Newcastle to have 39% possession and to get 20 shots off, and importantly, I think the one that really matters for me, duels won. 83 duels won. Pressing, high tempo. Everton, 69. That is a problem. 191 passes is interesting in terms of accurate passes, but it was about having energy and getting Allan Saint-Maximin on the ball, using Chris Wood. And when you're doing that, you're keeping the ball away from your goal. And Everton just didn't have much of a hope. Other new signings, Guimaraes came on, which was great. Allan Saint-Maximin. I think one of the biggest positives for Newcastle is the fact that, okay, Chris Wood and Trippier have come on, but the next stage, Bruno and Dan Burn weren't involved. There didn't need to be wholesale changes. So you're going to keep the sort of energy of the entire squad, which I think is huge. I think it's absolutely huge for them. Joe Linton continues to be this target man, box-to-box midfielder who, again, offers a lot, because when you have Chris Wood and Joe Linton on that left-hand side as those 2 target men, once again, it allows Allan Saint-Maximin to get on the ball. In terms of those duels, so duels is kind of one-on-one situations. Allan Saint-Maximin, 22 ground duels. He won 14 of those. And that cannot be underestimated. This is what I mean, and I've said it a few times, I know, but the big thing here is that Allan Saint-Maximin is getting the ball not in his own half and trying to beat 4 players. He's getting the ball in the opposition's half. That's huge, because no one can live with the guy. He is electric. He's electric. I'm so jealous. I wish QPR had a player like that. 22 ground duels, 114 of them. Special mention for Joe Willock as well. I think that's a really nice role for him on that right-hand side, where he's just that workhorse who's got to get through a lot of work, win the ball, and then give it to those other players, get into the box as well at times. It's going to give him a chance to go and score goals for the team, important goals for the team as they look to try and survive. And I think it's impressive. It's impressive from Newcastle, but it's a game that they should have won, and of course did win as well. Wrong one. There we go. Allan Saint-Maximin, too hot to handle. New signings, how did they get on? Here's the rant now, because I took Chris Sutton going after Dele Alli, and I think it was so cheap and easy that the reason he's had a tough game is because there's no cohesion or understanding amongst the rest of that team. You've got Richarlison up front, who doesn't really want to be there, playing in that role. You've got 2 midfielders who are playing terribly. You've got Branthwaite playing on that left-hand side. He's not really sure what he's doing. And that's not Lampard's fault, really. It's not having Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But what's going to happen again on Twitter is people are going to go after Dele Alli, and it's cheap and it's easy, in my opinion. There's no need for it. Obviously he didn't have a great game, but no Everton player had a great game. But what I did see is that little bit of needle, which I think I'm okay with it personally. There was a moment with Joe Linton at the end. Newcastle fans won't like me saying this, but I'd say that's one of those where you kind of want them to both go in for it, and they both did. Joe Linton started rolling around, fair enough, because he's trying to get the guy sent off. I get it. But Chris Sutton was after Dele Alli, and I just thought, it's just easy. Like, give the guy... some Everton fans, I'm sure, will go after him as well. Again, it's one game. You know, you're having a bad season regardless of this. And that is not the team that you want to put out. And if you are going to put it out that way, you want Paul Clement to get his hands on this. You want to be able to coach this team to work their way through the phases of play. Because you've got two midfielders in there, in Allen and Gomez, who were struggling to get on the ball and turn because of the press of Newcastle. Donny van der Beek then drops deeper, which means Dele Alli then drops deeper. But I thought Dele Alli was trying to get involved. Yeah, it wasn't a great game, but was the effort there? Absolutely. Was he in a disjointed team? Absolutely. I've got to say. I think people are looking for it with him. I really do. I think they were way too quick to do that. Should Everton fans be afraid? And if you've got any questions as well, I want to answer your questions. So get them in. And if you're watching right now, if you're enjoying it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. More lives to come. And, of course, hit the like button as well, because it will give the video a chance. Should Everton fans be afraid? I mean, yeah. I think they should have been afraid before this. Are you definitely going down? No. Have you got as good a chance as any other team in going down? Yes, and you did last time as well. Nothing's changed there. I think that was always the case. There are real problems with this team. And the Brentford game, I think, was slightly misleading. That's a Brentford team that hasn't actually played very well for quite a while. And so you're able to kind of get around them. And it's also a team that often defends quite deep. So again, the midfield weren't troubled as much. So that midfield too could kind of get away from it. There are real problems here. So I think it's okay to be afraid. I think you should be afraid. I think, look, again, with so many games to be played, the concern here is I think it's about energy a lot of the time and cohesion, and you will have time to sort that out. But I don't know what the final score was with Burnley. If you guys can let me know, that'd be great. Did it finish? Has it finished 1-1? But Burnley will keep fighting. Watford are looking more solid under Hodgson. Will it be enough? We'll see. Norwich, again, let's wait and see. They've beaten a very poor Everton side, a very poor Watford team at that moment in time. I think it's all clearing up for Newcastle because I think they're only going to get better. And I think, as I say, I think the thing that is probably the most exciting is two things. One, you can see what Eddie Howe's trying to do. And I think that's often the thing that we really want. The second one is I think they're going to win a lot of their home games with the crowd roaring like that. Because I thought it felt pretty special. You know, I know a lot of the fans have, obviously through whatever means it might be, right? But the fans feel so lifted from that and excited, you know, in exchange for the apathy that they had before. And you can't deny them that, personally. So, exciting times. Exciting times. Was it 1-1? It was 1-1. A couple of super chats. Let's have a look at those if I can get to them, because that's always the right thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Aaron Heckmat, my guy. Hello, mate. Maguire is one of the worst captains in our history. Wrong game, mate. He seriously is stealing a living at the moment. He's having a bad season. Yeah, I think that's fair. Is he a bad captain? I think that if the team's doing well, then the captain looks better. I'm sure he's trying his best. Charlie Bell, Liverpool to win the league, Everton to go down. That would you'd be asking a lot. I will be honest. Everton will be. I think they will be down there. We can have a quick look at their fixtures because I do think that always plays a part. But it is also a crazy season, so who knows what's going to happen here, right? Leeds, Southampton, 2 huge games coming up. Oh, then Man City's always obviously going to be tough. FA Cup, Tottenham, Wolves, Watford, West Ham. They have the games to get themselves out of it. Themselves out of it. Man of the match, by the way, guys, in the chat. Let's have your man of the match. Who would you go for? Let's have a quick look at Newcastle's upcoming fixtures because that obviously is going to play a part as well. I think I remember saying the next few games were massive for them. Yes, they are. That's it. But, you know, having a little double header of home games is a real opportunity for them. Villa's going to be super tough. West Ham away is going to be tough. But they could get something there. Brentford is a huge game. Don't keep Brentford out of it either. I know they look like they should be fine, and they should, but they're not playing great. They are not playing great, but maybe Christian Eriksen will get them going. Who knows? My man of the match, if you're asking, close between. I thought Joe Willock was superb. I really do. I think that's the role for him. Show us that energy. I think he's intelligent with his pressing, good with the ball as well in those areas. I thought that was great. I thought he was brilliant. And I think there's only one man, isn't there? Allon St-Maximin. The guy, as I said, he's electric. He's what you pay a season ticket for. He really is. And it's funny, isn't it? You kind of, all these new signings, all that excitement. Actually, this guy holds it all because you know what he's going to do. You know he's going to cut inside, but he's too quick. You can't stop him. It's amazing. It's amazing. Another super chat. Skinny Fat Huey. All right, mate. Here's almost a $5 for all the pods I've listened to for free, you handsome devil. Mate, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated. Yeah, Trips, a lot of people saying, again, I think Trippier is huge. I think he's such an important player for them. The free kick is filth. The free kick is absolutely filthy. It's disgusting. And he should be ashamed of himself. But like with a little glint in his eye. Yeah. Smart business so far. Aston Villa's an intriguing test for Newcastle. I will say that because I think that is a good team, well coached, with players that they want and players that are fit. And so that will be an interesting test. But like, it kind of, however it comes in terms of that belief for the fans, belief for the players, belief in what you're doing, all of those elements are, you just need it. You need to find that confidence and excitement. And as I say, that tempo that Newcastle played at, that's the tempo that they need to continue to play. And I think I'm starting to see enough that I think they could be fine. Jabari, Wood was horrible business, let's be honest. I get why you're worried about Wood. That's a fair point. What I would say is I think for what he brings to the team overall, which I spoke about earlier in the video, make sure you go check it out if you want to find that out. He offers so much. He does offer so much. Sooner or later, he will score. Long term, is he a good signing? I'm not sure about that. But to keep yourselves up and to be a great option to bring on next season, I think it's worth it. Like I said in the video I did where, how good, did they do enough? I think they've spent a lot, but they had to spend a lot. So I think it's understandable. I think what he offers, aside from the goals, which I know sounds a bit silly, but I think you know what I mean in terms of the setup of the team, I think he's still very, very important. Very, very important. So there you have it. Who would Bruno replace for Newcastle? Really tough decision. Really, really tough decision. I think if Willock's going to play to that level, I think you probably then go, let's take Shelvey out, because you can't take Joe Linton out because he offers, again, it's all about getting Allon St-Maximin the ball in that dangerous area. And Chris Wood and Joe Linton offer that. They allow the team to stretch the play a lot of the time. They allow Trippier to have the ball a little bit more because there's that concern elsewhere. You need that shuttler on that right-hand side, I would suggest. So I think it might have to be John Joe Shelvey, but time will tell. Time will tell. Liam Spivey, thank you, mate, for the super chat. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing the Champions League games. I'm going to be doing loads of games. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Hit the like button as well. Everton fans, hang in there. I don't think that's a total representation of Lampard or any of that stuff. Newcastle fans, congratulations. Enjoy your evening.